The Puerto Rico Status Act, or PRSA, introduced in Congress, leaves out important information that Puerto Ricans should know before voting for a non-territorial option. This bill is essentially a process of annexation disguised as a process of self-determination and decolonization for Puerto Rico. This bill does not address an important question. What will happen to the Spanish language if Puerto Rico chooses statehood? In Puerto Rico, all official processes of the legislative, judicial, educational, day-to-day processes are conducted in Spanish. Spanish is the principal language of 95% of the Puerto Rican people. Will the Arizona process be applied to Puerto Rico and displace the Spanish language, as was done when Arizona and New Mexico were admitted as states? When Arizona and New Mexico were admitted as states, it required them to change the language of the school system and the legislature to English. Language not only has cultural, identity, and practical implications for government and businesses, it also has financial implications. The federal courts have decided that in the face of a discrepancy in the English translation of Puerto Rico's Constitution over its debt limit, the prevailing version was the English version and not the Spanish version, which was adopted, written by the people of Puerto Rico and adopted in 1952. Another important element of Puerto Rican culture and national identity is the Puerto Rico Olympic Committee. The PRSA does not express whether Puerto Rico can retain its Olympic representation if it becomes a state of the Union. Puerto Ricans need to know with certainty if they will lose Olympic representation with certainty before they vote. In addition, this bill does not describe how the transition to paying federal taxes will take place if the Puerto Rican people were to choose statehood. Puerto Ricans pay approximately 40% in state income taxes, far more than states like California, which is the state with the highest income tax rate, up to 13%. Does this mean that federal taxes will be added to the already imposed state taxes? Will state taxes be lowered when federal taxes become imposed? Will this affect the court-approved federal debt repayment plan? Will government spending have to be reduced by firing public and government employees? All these questions are important and deserve an answer before casting a vote. This bill violates the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. In a scenario where independence is selected, children of U.S. citizens born in Puerto Rico would not obtain citizenship, where children of American citizens born in any other country do have the right to acquire American citizenship. The right way forward is for Congress to support Puerto Rico's inalienable right to elect a constitutional assembly on the status question. When I was a congressman, I joined the legendary Senator Ted Kennedy, may he rest in peace, and other members of both parties to push this concept forward in federal legislation. Under the Status Assembly, the people democratically elect those who define the different non-colonial options. Congress then negotiates with those delegates, and the final word would reside with the people of Puerto Rico through a direct vote. The PRSA is another colonial imposition of Congress that hides information from the people. You cannot treat the oldest colony in the world this way. Puerto Rico deserves more, and here in the diaspora, we are going to fight for our people so that they have a real process of self-determination and decolonization. That's why I ask you to join me in telling your member of Congress, your U.S. Senator, to reject the Puerto Rico Status Act for being unfair and for hiding vital information from the people.